So in this video, I'm going to go through what is the best lead generation strategy for insurance agents. And this video is specifically for any kind of insurance agent that is looking to get annuity leads, IUL leads, infinite banking leads, Medicare leads, or in theory, any other insurance product or service that you can help people with. But the ones here, these are the ones that I've got the most experience with. But again, this strategy that I'm going to go through, again, it could apply to any insurance service or really any service for that matter. So as an insurance agent, you pretty much have two paths that you can go when it comes to getting more insurance leads, sales appointments, and clients. Your first option is to buy insurance leads. And like anything in life, there are pros and cons of every option. And I'm going to go through those in just a second. Your second option is instead of buying insurance leads, you could just go and generate your own insurance leads. So it doesn't matter what service, what kind of insurance service you provide. Those are pretty much your two options when it comes to generating and getting and acquiring new insurance leads, appointments, and clients. So let's go through the pros and cons of each option so you can make an educated decision on which one will probably be best for you. Because again, there's not always one right answer. It does depend on your situation and which one you feel most comfortable with. So with buying leads, this is buying insurance leads. The biggest pro with this option is that it is quick and easy. You literally place an order online on one of these insurance lead generation websites, and then they start delivering you leads to your inbox in real time. So very easy and very quick to get everything up and running. Now, like I mentioned, with everything, there's both pros and cons. So the cons with this option is that it is going to be more expensive for a lead and for an appointment. And the reason for that is you have to think, how do insurance lead generation companies or lead providers work? What they are essentially doing is they are generating a lead themselves, maybe through a Facebook ad or something like that. And then when they generate that lead, let's say, for example, they pay $20 to generate a lead with Facebook ads, they will then resell that lead to other insurance agents for usually 10 times more. So they may resell that lead for $200 or sometimes even $300. It just depends on how much they are paying to acquire the lead in the first place. So what happens is you end up paying about 10 times more for the same lead. Now, the reason they can do that is because they need to make a profit, and they are the ones that are going out there and, they own and control the system to generate the leads. So when they generate the leads, their business is essentially making profit by selling those leads to you for a markup on top of that. Now, what other clients tell me from the ones that have told me they have bought leads in the past, they tell me that on average, they speak to about 1 in 10 of those leads when they are buying leads from other lead generation companies. So if, for example, you're buying leads for about $200, and that's for a lead that fills out some sort of application form, gives you some information about what they're looking for, their name, email, phone number, and all that kind of stuff. Let's say you're paying $200 for that lead. If you manage to speak to 1 out of 10 of those leads, you're essentially paying $2,000 per appointment. Now, again, it can vary depending on how well or how good you can actually get in contact with those leads. But again, this is just the data that I've been told from clients that have bought leads in the past. Usually you speak to about 1 in 10. Sometimes it can even be more than that. But 1 in 10 would give you a $2,000 cost per appointment if your cost per lead is $200. So hopefully that makes sense so far. Because it's going to be important when we compare this to the other option of generating your own leads. But for now, just keep in mind, it is typically going to be more expensive when you buy leads in the long term because you are essentially paying a middle person for those leads. Whereas if you went directly to the source, you could essentially cut out the middle person and get the leads at the true cost of whatever they cost to acquire those leads in the first place. Now, with that, the other con of buying insurance leads is that you also need to typically chase these leads to get an appointment. So this is because usually a lead just fills in a form online. They don't always have a lot of information about you and what you do or who you are and things like that. So you need to spend some time chasing that lead to get an appointment. You need to call them, you need to text them, you need to email them, you need to go through that process of following up with the leads in order to get them to convert into an appointment. So again, nothing wrong with that if you have the time to do that. But if you don't have the time and your time is quite limited right now, that's just something to be aware of. And then the final con is that you are not in control of the marketing system. So what that means is that another company is in control of the leads that you generate. So if for any reason they want to stop selling you leads and go exclusive with someone else, which is something I've seen happen in the past, which is why I've had conversations with people in the past where they've told me that everything was going great. They were buying leads. They were, generating these leads from another company. And then suddenly they went exclusive with someone else and they've lost their main lead source. And now they're scrambling to quickly do something and find another way to generate leads. So that's a bit of a dangerous position to be in. The other thing that they can do is, because they are the ones in control of the lead system, essentially, is that they can always increase the price, or they can pretty much do whatever they want. It's not you who is in control of that. So you're always relying on a third party to generate the leads. So if at any point in the future you wanted to maybe sell the business or something like that, you're not going to have your own asset where you have your own marketing system that allows you to generate your own leads. So again, there's pros and cons. I'm not saying this is a bad option, but you just need to be aware of the pros and you need to be aware of the cons as well. Now, the other alternative to this, which is the second path that you could go on, and that would be to generate your own leads. So when you generate your own leads, the biggest con with this is that it does take longer to get everything up and running because you're creating your own lead generation system. So typically this takes about 30 days to get everything up and running. So from the time you start, it's usually going to be about 30 days until you start generating your first lead. Now, that being said, it could also be longer if you are doing this all on your own. So 30 days is when you're working with someone that already knows how to do this and you're kind of getting a shortcut and you're getting faster results because you're basically getting a plug and play system that someone else has already created. But if you're doing this on your own from scratch, it could take much longer. I've spoken to clients on their own who were trying to set up their own system, and they've sometimes gone 6 to 12 months before they finally had a system up and running that actually worked, and sometimes even longer than that. So again, it does take time. You can shorten that time if you work with someone that has already done this, and this is what they do every day, which, by the way, that's what we do. But at the end of the day, it's still going to take more time compared to just buying leads and placing an order somewhere else for those leads to get delivered to you in real time. So that's usually one of the biggest cons. And then with that, there is also a higher one-time investment in order to get this whole system up and running. So again, you could try and do it on your own, essentially for free, but it's probably going to take you 6 to 12 months or more of your time to try and figure this out. Or you could just pay someone to essentially do it all for you, and then you're going to get everything up and running much quicker. But it does involve an initial one-time investment. So those are the cons of generating your own leads. However, the upside of that is that you do get a lower cost per lead and a lower cost per appointment. So how can you get a lower cost per lead and lower cost per appointment? Well, the reason is quite simple. It's because you are getting leads directly from the source. You're not paying a middle person for those leads. So essentially, if a lead costs $20 on Facebook ads and then an appointment costs $200, you're going to be paying that exact cost. There's no markup between the leads that are generated and then when the leads are sold to you. So you can, in some cases, get leads for about 10 times less simply by generating your own leads compared to buying leads. So that's why a lot of our clients, again, they come to us after buying leads and now they want to be in control of their own lead generation system. They want to also generate leads at a lower cost, and that's why they typically will work with us. So that's another really big advantage. So even though there is an initial bigger investment in the beginning, in the long term, if you factor in how much you're saving every single month by generating your own leads instead of paying another company for leads, you can literally save thousands and thousands of dollars every single month and every single year. Now, another really big pro of generating your own leads is that there is no need to chase leads in order to get an appointment. And the reason for this is that you can educate leads with your own lead generation system as to why they should schedule a call with you. And then they can actually schedule a call with you in your calendar to speak with you. So it's completely different to just getting a lead who fills in a form online and then you have to chase that lead to get an appointment. You can actually make it so a lead does fill in that form, but then when you educate them on how you can help them and how you can provide value, they actually go ahead and schedule a call directly in your calendar, which just saves you a ton of time because now you don't have to chase every single lead that comes in. Now, if you want to, you still do have that option to chase the leads if you wanted to do that. But what I'm saying is you don't have to. You can still get leads directly, book a call with you in your calendar because they're interested in learning more about how you can help them. So I'm going to go through a bit later on in this video as to how exactly you can do that, because it's all about the strategy that you're using to generate leads in the first place. That's what enables you to be able to get leads to book an appointment without you having to chase them. And then finally, the other pro about generating your own leads is that you are in control of your own marketing system. So it's your asset that you can use, that you can grow, and that you can build over time. So no one else has control about this. You will have the control over how many leads, appointments, and clients you get in your business every month. So if one month you want more leads, you can increase how many leads you want. If another month you want less leads, you can decrease how many leads you get. And if you're on vacation or you want to pause how many leads you're getting, we even get some clients that sometimes they just get too busy and they have to pause the marketing machine that we've built for them. And then you can do that with your own marketing system. You can pause the leads that you're getting and then resume it whenever you're ready at any point in the future. So again, you're in control. So you can pretty much choose how many leads and how many appointments you get every single month predictably without having to rely on a third party in order to give you those leads and appointments. So which option is better? Is it better to buy leads or is it better to generate your own leads? Well, I've gone through the pros and cons. It's really up to you to decide which one you think will be best for you and your business. But most of our clients, they would prefer to generate their own leads and be in control of their own marketing system. So that's why in my business many years ago, when I first started, I did actually used to sell leads. So I know exactly how it works and I know what it's like. But I found a lot of clients, they would not only get more value by being in control of their own lead generation system, but they'd get better results as well if they were in control of their own lead generation system. So that's why right now what we do is we help clients set up their own lead generation system so that they can get their own leads and appointments themselves without having to rely on another company. If you'd like to learn more about how we can help you do this, just click the link in the description of this video to watch my free masterclass training, because that goes through how it all works in more detail. And if you like what you hear in that video, you can also schedule a call with us and we can answer any other questions that you might have. Now, if you are interested in generating your own leads, then let me go through some of the best ways that you could do this as an insurance agent. So when it comes to generating your own leads, you pretty much have two options. You have the first way, which is the paid way. And this is when you run ads in order to generate leads and appointments. So this is a very fast way to get results because you're paying to get in front of people. Now, in terms of the budget that you'd have to use in order to run ads, the minimum is really $1,500 a month. Ideally, you want to be spending at least $2,000 to $3,000 a month. But $1,500 a month would be the very minimum that I would recommend to be able to get any decent results. Now, the other way that you can generate leads as an insurance agent is to also generate leads for free by creating content. So I'm going to go through how you can do that in just a second. But the point is, both of these ways are very powerful when it comes to lead generation for insurance agents. And you can do both of these methods. You don't just have to choose one of these methods. You don't just have to rely on ads and you don't just have to rely on content. You can do both of them together if you want to get the best possible results. And as a bonus, if you do both of these things together, you can actually get better results from both of these channels. So for example, from the clients that we work with, the ones that get the best results, above average results, they're not just running ads and they're not just creating content. They are doing both of those things at the same time. And the reason it works so well is because if someone sees your content and then they see an ad, they are going to be more likely to convert. On the other hand, if someone sees your ad and then they see some of your content, they're also going to be more likely to convert because the content does such a good job of building up trust with the leads that you're generating. So by creating content, you can actually get better results with your ads as well. So that's why I recommend doing both if you can. Now, you don't have to do both. We also have some clients that they only run ads, and we have some clients that only create content. You can do that as well if you prefer. But I'm just letting you know, if you want to get the best possible results, then my recommendation would be to do both if you can. So let's go through the fastest way to generate leads, and this will be with paid advertising. So the two platforms we've found work best specifically for insurance agents is Meta ads, and that includes both Facebook and Instagram, and also TikTok ads. So those are the top two performing platforms. Now, for some clients, we find Meta works better. For other clients, we find TikTok works better. So what we typically recommend is to test both and then see which one works better for you and your business. Now, in order to make this work when you're running ads, it's very important that you have a marketing system to send people from these ads too. So you don't just want to be running an ad and send them to your website, for example, your homepage. And you don't just want to be sending them to your calendar page or to a form that they fill out and that's the only thing that they do, because that's not going to work very well. For example, if you just send people to your website, you're going to get a lot of clicks, but you're not really going to get a lot of conversions. And if you just get someone to fill in a form online and that's the only thing they do, you're probably going to get a lot of leads, but the quality of those leads won't be as good as they could be. So that's why you need to have a marketing system that will educate your leads. It will build value as to how you can help them. And then if they like what they hear and see inside of that marketing system, then those leads are the ones that can then schedule a call to work with you. So the way that we do this is by using an automated appointment funnel. So let me show you exactly how this works. So this is an overview of what the automated appointment funnel looks like. So you can see here on the left, we have different traffic sources. So what I'm talking about right now is the paid ads traffic source. So that would be Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and TikTok ads. So you can see no matter what channel you're using to generate traffic and to get people to see and learn about what it is that you can help them with, you still send them to your opt-in page. Now your opt-in page, let me just show you what my opt-in page looks like, just see a real life example. So an opt-in page will look something similar to this, and you'd have a big message at the top talking about one of the ways that you can help your potential clients. And then you would have an option for them to enter their name and email to watch a video that explains how you can help them in more detail. And then you send them to the video page, and this would be the second page that you can see here, which is the VSL page. The VSL page is a video sales letter page. So we use a video that is essentially kind of like having a salesperson for your business that works for you 24/7. And that salesperson is that video, and that video will do a lot of the selling for you. And it would basically just educate people on the problem that you solve for them, why working with you is better than other alternative solutions. And then at the end of that video, if people want to learn more about working with you, they can click on a button below the video to schedule a call in your calendar. So if we go back here, you can see the next step is an application form. So we actually have an application form first, then they schedule a call in the calendar. But you could also have a calendar first, and then they have an application form that they fill out. It really doesn't matter either way. But the point is that they schedule a call in your calendar after watching that video. And then finally, they go to a call confirmation page. And on the call confirmation page, that's just another extra page where you can send them additional content and send them additional resources and things like that, that will build up more trust before the call. So for example, if you have a YouTube channel, having a link to your YouTube channel on the call confirmation page can be a really good thing in order to increase your show up rate and maximize the conversions that you get from your appointments. Now, there's also a bunch of other things that we can do, such as retargeting ads and follow-up emails and things like that. But I'm not going to go into too much detail now about those things. Really, I just want to focus on the most important thing is that you need to basically send people from your ads into this funnel. And then it just becomes a bit of a numbers game. The more people that go to your funnel, the more people that go to the opt-in page, the more leads you'll be able to generate. And then the more people that see your video sales letter, the more appointments you'll be able to generate. And then the more appointments that you generate, the more clients that you'll be able to get as well on top of that. Now, at this point, you might be wondering, okay, this all sounds good, but how much does it cost to actually generate a lead and generate an appointment and all of that kind of stuff with paid advertising? So typically what we see for most of our clients, and this is more for the annuity clients or clients that sell, IULs or do infinite banking and things like that. But let me just focus more on annuity clients because that's probably the majority of the clients that we work with. The average cost per lead is about $20, and the average cost per appointment is about $200 to $300. And that's with someone that has an average of $500,000 in investable assets. And again, that's an average. So it could be less than that, or it could be higher than that. Usually the range is anywhere from $200,000 to about $1 million or more, but $500,000 is usually the average that we see. Now, the cost per lead and the cost per appointment could also be more. Usually, if they have more in assets or they have a higher income, the cost per appointment is going to be higher and the cost per lead is going to be higher. And if they have a lower income or they have less in assets, or you're not targeting people where assets and income is important, then in that case, you're going to be paying less for a lead and less for an appointment. So the biggest thing that I found that affects the price is really how much money they have or how much income they have every year. But I just wanted to give you a rough idea of the averages in terms of what we see with other clients. And then the conversion rate from appointments to clients is typically about 25%. So for some clients, it could be more, for some, it could be less. It just depends on how good you are with the sales process, but that's usually the average that we find as well. And then the beautiful thing about running ads is that once you know what your cost per lead and your cost per appointment is, you can decide how many appointments you want each month. So let's just say, for example, your cost per appointment is $250. If you wanted 10 appointments, you just pay $2,500. If you wanted double that, you just pay, $5,000. So you can pretty much choose how many appointments you get every single month by just increasing or decreasing your budget. So that's the great thing about it. And whatever your cost per lead and cost per appointment ends up being, because there's no middle person involved, you're going to be paying the true cost of a lead and the true cost of an appointment because you're getting the leads and appointments directly from the source. Now, the other way that you can generate insurance leads and appointments is the free way, and that is by creating content. So the type of content that I found work best is YouTube videos. Simply because YouTube videos, they not only appear in search results like Google search and YouTube search, but they also get recommended by the YouTube algorithm as well. So it's kind of like running ads, but for free, because if you create a really good YouTube video, YouTube will push that video out in front of people in a similar way to ads. It's just that you're not paying to get in front of those people. In fact, YouTube actually pays you money when you record videos to get those videos in front of people, which is so weird, but that's just the way it works, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. You're actually being paid to advertise your own business. But to make YouTube videos work, you need to be able to create the right kind of videos. So it's not just about creating, these really super fancy videos or videos with a lot of hype, but not a lot of value. It's all really about creating helpful YouTube videos that solve problems that people have. If you do that one thing, you're going to get results on YouTube. That's all you need to do. Create helpful videos that solve problems. So think about the different problems or even questions that people have that are related to your services. If you can answer those questions in a YouTube video, then the more often that you do this, the higher the chances are that you're going to appear in different search results and you're going to be recommended by the YouTube algorithm to people in your target audience. Now, the next part is also crucial when it comes to getting leads from YouTube, and that is to send people from your YouTube video to the next step in your sales process. And this is probably one of the biggest mistakes I see people make from people that create YouTube videos, is that they don't have any call to actions. They just create a really good video and then they don't tell people to do anything else. So that's why in this video, you'll notice that I said earlier, if you'd like to learn more about working with us or how we can help you, then I said to click the link in the description of this video to watch my free masterclass training, because that goes through how we can help you in more detail. And the reason I do that is so that this video, the YouTube video that you're watching right now, is able to generate leads. And you need to do the same thing in your business if you're creating YouTube videos. You need to tell people to click the link in the description of the video to either watch your video sales letter, which is, that video that we went through in the sales funnel, in order to educate them and explain how you can help them, or at least tell them to schedule a call in your calendar. As a minimum, you need to be doing one of those two things if you want to generate leads from YouTube. And then it really, again, becomes a bit of a numbers game. The more videos you create on YouTube, the faster the results you can see, and the more leads and appointments and clients you'll be able to generate. But consistency is really the key to getting results, because sometimes what I've seen happen is you might get motivated and then create a few videos, maybe 5 or 10 videos, and then you see that those videos don't really perform very well, and then you just give up. So if you do that, chances are you're not going to see any results. Even though sometimes we do have some clients, their first 1 or 2 videos, for whatever reason, it does perform really well. That's usually the exception rather than the rule. Most of the time, you need to be consistent with this, and you need to keep recording videos consistently every week. And usually it's around the point where you reach 30 to 50 videos or more before you really start seeing any results. So if you just give up after doing a few videos, you're just going to end up wasting your time. So if you want to get the best results, just don't give up if you don't see any traction initially when you start recording videos. And it might not necessarily be that the video content or the topic is bad. It might just be the way that you present it. You might need to improve it, or maybe if you're brand new to YouTube, you might not have a lot of experience in how you say things. So by recording videos more often, you're just going to be getting better and better and better at recording those videos. And then eventually, as your skill on YouTube increases, you'll also notice that your views increase and the results that you get also increase. But again, you don't have to do anything fancy on YouTube. It's really, you just need to create helpful videos. Like, look at this video. It's not fancy at all. I literally just have a slide presentation and I'm recording a video just by looking at the camera, and that's pretty much it. So you can do videos in the same kind of way. You could do videos just by you talking to the camera, or you could even do videos where you're not even on camera and you're just sharing your screen. So we've got clients that do all three. The ones I think that work the best are a combination of sharing your screen and being on camera. But at the end of the day, the point is you need to just be creating videos and creating helpful YouTube videos that solve problems that your potential clients have. Now, if you need help with doing any of this, this is exactly what we do for clients. So if you'd like to learn how to get 10 to 30 or more qualified appointments each month with your ideal clients, just click the link in the description of this video to watch my free masterclass training that goes through how it all works in more detail. And if you like what you hear in that training, you can also schedule a call by clicking on the link below that video. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.